Hello everyone out there, my name's Seth. I recently got into wood turning. I really enjoy it a lot. Been making stuff like this here cheap quick vase out of green wood. I really like raw wood. That's kind of what it looks like fresh. Anyway, when I first got into this not that long ago, I was trying to make stuff that looked shiny. The carving kind of came, I figured it out, sanding and stuff, but I couldn't get it to look, shiny, glossy, like you want something expensive to look or whatever. And the problem is, I wanted it to happen and to happen fast, and a lot of good things just don't happen fast. But I discovered the mistake that I've been making. That actually cost me a lot of money because I bought a bunch of different, this oil, this finish, that finish, try this, try a little of that, and just nothing would seem to work. And that's because I wasn't sanding properly, at least as best I can tell. I'm not a pro by any means. But if this helps somebody out and saves them some money, great. I wasn't sanding like I should initially. Basically, what I've discovered is you should have a nice shine, a nice gloss on your wood before you put any sort of finish or oil or anything like that. Right on the lathe, it should look sharp. Let me show you what I'm starting with here. This is actually made up of this right here. Raw tree limb. Sorry, I'm pretty ignorant. I don't know what kind, if it's a, sycamore or something else. Somebody out there could tell me what it is. But look how white and dull that is. But yet, from this, I was able to create this, and it didn't take long. I want to say about an hour or so to get a look like this. So I'm going to try to reproduce the same thing for you guys in somewhat real time so that you can see what I do. Not because I'm an expert by any means, but just so maybe it saves somebody a little bit of grief in searching around and spending money on finishes. Another thing I wanted to mention to any new people like me that get started and get excited on the lathe. I bought a Harbor Freight one. Um, you might want to use like a saw. You'll be researching on duplicators and lathe saw combinations and see how fast people achieve results. I just want you to be very careful if you do something like that. Make sure it's really reinforced. You've thought ahead. I came out lucky, but I almost lost my arm in a lathe saw combination. If you want to see the gory details, you can search on YouTube "freak lathe saw accident" and you'll see my nasty open wound there for you crazy ones that want to do that. So anyway, just be careful is all I'm saying. Reinforce things so you don't get hurt like I did. Don't have to learn the hard way. And by the way, that was a lot of money. The price of my house, I think, take care of that. This right here, if you can see it, this is the sandpaper I'm going to use, starting at a 60 grit because I'm sloppy. I use cheap tools, and so a professional will tell you don't need to start nearly that low, but I do, and if you're new like me, fine. 60 grit, 80 grit, 120, 180, 220, then we'll jump up to 320 here. Then we've got 400, 500, and then 1,000, 2,000, 2,500, maybe even finish off with some notebook paper. And this is what I have, so it's what I'm using. Nice thing is it keeps it moving. You don't have to sand very long in between each grit. So I get less bored that way and sand better. All right, we're ready to get going. I'm going to start off with one of these big fat hurricane tools I got from Amazon. So not too bad. Rough wood, I just used the stuff that came with the lathe. Got some drywall screws holding it in there. Flip it on low speed and get cutting. got a crack. Oh well. Looks like that crack runs all the way through, which means we won't waste any time making this look prettier than it has to. I've got it real sloppy now. I'm just going to speed up the lathe, do one quick pass, just to show you what a sloppy job can still look like with the sanding. So crank up the speed. Really rough. Alright, a lot of tearing, a lot of mistakes everywhere. That's okay. That's what sandpaper's for. Move this out of the way. I actually want to keep the lathe going fast personally. I know people argue you sand better when it's not fast, but I don't know, I'm almost shaping with this more than sanding, so that's what I'll do. This is super abrasive, and that's okay. I want to do most of my sanding with this right here, because once I get all the big holes out, the little ones are easy. I find that actually with sandpaper, the finer you get, it creates dust that fills those little holes, creating a smoother look. I don't even think I'm going to bother to drill it for you guys. I might, but that's alright. Sanding is the main thing that helped me out a lot, so I hope it helps you. broken pieces. A little bit of fur sticking out there, so I'm going to keep sanding with the heavy grit. This one's wasting my time. Okay, once I got all the hair off, I can proceed up the grits, and this moves real fast now. 80 grit coming up. Dogs are going crazy, sorry. 120 grit next. Alright, 180 is what I go into next. I don't have any 150 handy. If you're cheap like me and want to get more life out of your sandpaper, you gum it up one direction, change the direction, but I've also learned just beat it against the lathe or against a hard surface, like just smack it a few times, and some of that gunk falls off and you got more sandability there. So just a thought if you want to save a little bit. This is 220 right here. Like me earlier and think, man, this is looking good. Don't stop. Keep going. There's still minor imperfections there. You got more grits. Alright. I read from several people don't skip grits, and I think this is why it fills in all those little holes and stuff. I don't know. But 320 grits next. To get better. I got to check my phone for messages, make sure the camera lens is clean, but I'll turn it back on in a sec and go up from the higher grits there. Alright, I brought the camera in a little bit closer. Sure hope it shows up, but hopefully you can see the shine that starts to come. I'm moving up to 400 grit now. This is wet or dry paper, but it's only a good spit on it if I want to. I wondered if snot really helps out. But anyway, grit. This is what it's looking like after 500. It feels real good. But I'm not stopping there. I'm going all the way. 1,000 is what I got left. Actually, I got a few more, but got to jump up. 1,000. Not like it's going to hurt anything. The sand's too fine, you know? Paper's keeping up. May not help or it might. Obviously I could use some wood shavings or something too, but it's already getting pretty shiny. I'm pretty happy with this. Now the next thing I learned to do is from a guy called Captain Eddie Castellan that I'm sure a lot of people have seen on YouTube already. He's got some great videos, appreciate him. But he uses a mixture of shellac, denatured alcohol, and boiled linseed oil. 1/3 of each, and I just have a squirt bottle container, and he calls it shine juice. But I'm pretty happy with this stuff. The idea is it gets put on with friction, and I'm sloppy with the way I do it, so don't learn it from me. Go over and check out his videos. But I'm going to put a coat of that on there, and I've learned it has to build up warmth in your hand. You got to keep it moving, or else you get these little streaks that don't look good, or if you push too hard it burns it right off and you're getting nowhere. But you can get a nice little polish with that, and then my idea is I want to seal that polish in with something stronger. I don't technically know if this works or not, but I've got tung oil and some other stuff that take longer to dry, but they really protect. And I just want to protect the shine because I like the gloss, so that's what I'm going for. So anyway, the shine juice is what I'm going to try to put on next. And I'll just use like a little paper towel, shop towel here for that. Fold it in quarters, shake it up because the mixture doesn't stay. And I'll fire it up. I'm going to keep it fast. nice and glossy. And even right off the lathe, it's going to be a little bit moist, but I can touch it and it's not as though I wipe it all away. I'll run it along. So all I have to do after something like this, now that I got it glossy, because it's halfway burned on there, you know, so it evaporated, I'll just seal it in with something strong, something that will hold its place. And we got a crack in this, so it's not really any good, but you get the idea. Later on, I would have brought my drill bit to it and drilled a hole down the center, because I'm lazy and don't really want to hollow the whole thing out. And then I'd be done with it. So that gives you an idea. Going to leave this wiped a little bit. It'll get a little less glossy when it dries. You can put another coat or two of this shine juice on there if you want to help with that, but then just coat it with something else. Just wanted to show you guys, a new person like me, you don't have to spend a ton of money. A few things: the shellac, denatured alcohol, boiled linseed oil, and you can leave it at that, or you could seal it with something a little stronger, whatever you like, but don't spend a whole bunch of money on this stuff. It'll eat you up. Alright, I hope this helps somebody. Well, changed my mind. I'm back now. It's about 10 minutes later and the pieces started dulling up a bit. So I figure might as well finish the job a little bit better. I'll drill the hole and then I'll put another coat of the shine juice on there. See how it looks after that. So hopefully it won't be quite as dull when it dries. Then we can lock that in later on with a coat of harder stuff. There we go. Looking better. Not a good bit to use, but it's what I got. Salvage some of this dust and use it if you want to work with it. feels nice and smooth. I say some more shine. Cut the speed. Not quite as fast as that. Kind of a unique smell to it after a while too. I think that's the brine smell, the bendy smell, not pushing insanely hard. And pushing a little. You almost feel areas where I might have stains. Pretty good. Oh, I see what I did. See, I accidentally got a bit of goop. Got my rag on there. Gotta be careful not to do that. See, this is why you watch the pros to take you from here on out. This is as far as I can take you, sorry. But if you like any of my stuff, you can buy it at sethsticks.com. Anyway, I just like an excuse to play with this thing, you know? Hey, it's not beautiful. We got ourselves a rustic little vase. And then to finish it off, I could throw some, I don't know, whatever I got. I think I bought this teak oil at Home Depot. I may also have some of the tongue left over. Any kind of thing that's supposed to penetrate in there and keep it looking good so it doesn't go away. That's what I'm going for. I'm sure some professional will comment and tell you that it's wrong, but if I find out more later, I'll let you know. Alright. There again, I hope this helps everybody. Thanks. Bubbles in there. Alright, let's see if we can get another look at the camera here. Wipe off the lens. A little bit of fur inside there. Do a better job on that. Cut it off and call this one a day.